Rob decided to tell his story after avoiding this sophisticated spoofing scheme, but many others are losing thousands of dollars.
You wake up on a Wednesday morning and reach for your phone. It's something you've done 1,000 times. Check the weather, check your messages, open the Chase app to glance at your balance. But this morning is different. The number on the screen doesn't make sense. You tap it again. You close the app and reopen it. You stare at a balance that should have 5 figures and instead shows almost nothing. Your checking account, the one you've spent decades building and protecting, the one that holds your retirement income, your Social Security deposit, the cushion you promised yourself you'd always have, reads close to zero. You haven't made a purchase. You haven't written a check. You haven't authorized a single thing since yesterday. But someone did. And right now, all across the country, older Americans who bank with Chase are waking up to this moment. Not because they were reckless, not because they were careless, because they answered a phone call the day before that looked, sounded, and felt completely legitimate. And by the time they went to bed, the damage was already done. They just didn't know it yet. It started with a text message. It arrived looking like every Chase alert you've ever received, the same format, the same tone, the same sender name on screen. It flagged a wire transfer or a purchase you didn't recognize. And you, because you are not the kind of person who falls for things, did not tap the link, did not reply. You picked up the phone and called the number printed right there on the back of your debit card. You called Chase directly. You spoke with someone. Things seemed fine. You hung up feeling reassured. And then, within seconds, your phone rang again. Chase on the screen. Same number. The fraud department, the voice said, calling you back because they were still seeing activity on their end. Something bigger than the original alert, possibly an inside threat. They needed to walk you through a few steps. That call felt like a continuation of what you had just done, a natural next step in protecting your account. The voice was calm. The number matched. They already knew your name, your branch, and details about your account that only your bank should have. Every signal you've been trained to trust was pointing in the same direction, so you stayed on the line. That decision, made for entirely rational reasons, is the reason the balance you saw the next morning was gone. The mechanism behind this has a name. It's called the Spoofed Safe Account play, and it runs on a technology that most people, including most older adults who are careful about their finances, have never heard explained plainly. The technology is called caller ID spoofing. Here's what it means. Your caller ID is not a verified connection between you and the person calling. It is a display, a screen that shows whatever information is sent to it. Scammers use widely available internet phone services to place a call from anywhere on Earth and instruct your phone to show whatever number they choose. They choose the number on the back of your Chase debit card. Your phone has no way to check whether that's true. It simply displays it. Think of it like the return address on an envelope. When a letter arrives with your bank's name and address printed in the top left corner, you open it. You trust it instantly. But anyone can write any return address they want on an envelope before they drop it in a mailbox. The Postal Service doesn't verify it. Neither does your caller ID. It shows a return address. That return address can be forged by anyone who knows what number they want you to see. That's the entire foundation of the Spoofed Safe Account play, a forged return address on a phone call, backed by a voice that has rehearsed everything else. What makes this play feel airtight, and the reason it catches experienced, financially disciplined people, is what comes with the spoofed number. These callers don't just sound like Chase employees. They arrive with information that seems to prove they are. In documented cases, Chase customers have reported that callers read their full account number back to them, recited their balance to the penny, and knew which branch they used. One customer, Jennifer Lichthardt, said the caller had her entire account profile before she said a word. That information didn't come from Chase. It came from data breaches, from commercial brokers who sell personal records online, and from your own accumulated digital footprint. Every form you've filled out, every account you've opened, every record that has ever been attached to your name over the course of your life. The spoofed number earns the pickup. The personal detail earns the trust. Together, they create a window of certainty so convincing that even a trained journalist who covers scams professionally stayed on a spoofed Chase call for 34 minutes before catching himself at the last moment. For older Americans who have banked with Chase for years or decades, whose accounts hold retirement savings and pension deposits, that window of certainty is even more powerful because the details match a real financial life that took a lifetime to build. Once the caller has your trust and you're cooperating, the play moves into its final stage. The voice tells you that because of the security breach, the rogue employee, the inside threat, the unauthorized access, Chase needs to move your money immediately into a new secured account in your name. It's a precaution. Your money will still be yours. It'll be safe there while they investigate. Some customers are guided through a transfer on their phone or computer. Some are directed to walk into a branch. Ann Hill, a Chase customer in her 70s living on a fixed income in Florida, followed those instructions in January 2024. She ignored the original suspicious text. She called the real Chase number. The spoofed second call arrived. She transferred $42,000 into what she was told was a secured account set up for her protection. By the next morning, the money that had been in her account for years was simply gone. Jennifer Lichthardt, another Chase customer, went through the same play, moved close to $40,000 into what she believed was a safe Chase account at her local branch. In Lichthardt's case, Chase confirmed that the scammer's account was drained the same day she made the deposit. The money had vanished before either woman went to sleep. They just didn't know it yet. That's the moment. That is what waking up to an empty account looks like. Now here's where the full weight of this lands and why it hits older Americans harder than anyone else. The Federal Trade Commission reported that in 2024, adults age 60 and over lost $700 million to imposter scams, a more than five-fold increase from $122 million just 4 years earlier. That number only represents what was reported. The FTC and the FBI both acknowledge that the real total is almost certainly far higher, because many older adults who authorized the transfer under deception never file a report. Some don't realize it was a scam for days. Some feel responsible for what happened. Some are too shaken to revisit it. What makes recovery so painful? When a scammer breaks into your account without your knowledge, your bank's fraud protection is designed to cover you. But when you are the one who initiates the transfer, even if you were completely deceived, even if everything you saw and heard told you it was safe, the legal and banking framework treats it differently. Chase has stated publicly that it will not ask customers to move money to protect it. When the transfer is authorized by you, recovery becomes a prolonged fight with no guaranteed outcome. Wire transfers settle within hours. The money moves fast. The window to reverse it closes faster. For someone living on retirement income, a pension, or Social Security, someone who spent 30 or 40 years building that balance, a single transfer of this size can erase financial security that took a lifetime to accumulate. Tom and Ann Hill, the Florida couple in their 70s, spent more than a year fighting to recover their $42,000. Their claim was denied. The case was closed. For people on a fixed income, there is no next paycheck to replace what was taken. That is why this particular scam targets who it targets. If you have a parent, an older neighbor, a friend who has banked with Chase for years and would absolutely pick up that call and cooperate, please stay right here, because what comes next stops all of it. The defense is called the Cold Callback. 3 steps. They take about 2 minutes. And they break the spoofed safe account play at the only point in the sequence where it cannot continue without your participation. Step 1. Hang up. The instant anyone on a phone call, regardless of what your screen displays, regardless of how much they know about your account, asks you to move money, transfer funds, open a new account, visit a branch to protect your balance, or send your savings anywhere for any reason, you end the call. Not because you're being difficult, because Chase itself has said publicly and clearly that it will never ask you to do any of those things on a phone call. A real fraud team protects your account by freezing it. It does not ask you to carry your own retirement savings across town. The request itself is the entire signal. When you hear it, you hang up. Step 2. Wait before calling anyone back. Do not redial immediately. Police in multiple jurisdictions have warned that some scam operations use what's called line trapping technology, a setup that keeps the fraudulent caller connected to your phone line even after you hang up. If you redial too quickly, you may reconnect to the same voice you just left, thinking you've reached your real bank. Law enforcement has noted this technology can stay active for several minutes. To be safe, put the phone down and wait at least 90 seconds to 2 minutes before picking it up again. Set a timer if you need to. That brief pause is enough to break the connection completely. Step 3. Call Chase yourself. Use only the number on the back of your debit card or the number listed on chase.com, not a callback number someone gave you on the phone, not a number from a text message, not any number connected to the inbound call. You source it fresh, you dial it yourself, and you speak to a real Chase employee. If there is a genuine issue on your account, they will know. If there is no record of a problem, you will have your answer in under 60 seconds. Remember the return address on that envelope. Anyone can write Chase on the outside. The cold callback is how you open the letter yourself instead of trusting someone else to tell you what's inside. Hang up, wait a full 2 minutes, dial it yourself. That's the entire defense. You came into this video as the kind of person who wakes up every morning, checks their accounts, and expects to see the number that belongs there. You're leaving it understanding why some Chase customers, smart, experienced, careful people, many of them seniors who did nothing wrong, are waking up to balances that no longer exist. You now know how the Spoofed Safe Account play works from the first text all the way through to that empty screen the next morning. You know why the spoofed second call is timed to arrive right after you do the right thing. You know why moving your own money is the entire design. And you know why recovery is so difficult once that transfer clears. Most importantly, you know the cold callback. 3 steps, 2 minutes, and the whole thing collapses because the play cannot survive the moment you hang up and dial the real number yourself. Every step in the sequence depends on you staying on that line. When you don't, it's finished. If someone you love, a parent, a spouse, a neighbor, a friend who has spent their whole life being responsible with money, banks with Chase or any major bank, send them this video. Not because they need protecting, because this is the kind of thing that people who look out for each other pass along over a kitchen table, over a phone call, over a cup of coffee. That's what this channel exists for. One conversation at a time. This stops reaching the people we care about. And now you're the one who starts that conversation.